Hi folks, welcome to Coffin Alumni Stadium here in Brookings. It's Hobo Day, but not a happy one for the Jackrabbits. They lose today 27-24 to Southern Illinois, who came in needing a win. They got it, and SDSU couldn't afford to lose, and they did. So both teams now 3-3. What's your takeaway on the Jackrabbits today, who was up 17-10 at halftime? That big pick by Charles Elmore, who went 89 yards right before the break. Then they give out a long touchdown. They don't do much on offense, and SIU gets 17 points in a row going into the fourth quarter, and Jacks can't rally like they did last year when they put together a long drive in the final minutes at Carbondale.
I think the most talked about play today would be the 4th and 2 call, the ball that went to Wesley.
What did you think? Pass interference or not?
You know, it's kind of touchy because, you know, they are just coming out of that break, so, you know, they got that little bit of leeway to, like, hit the wide receiver, so, you know, it could have went either way, and, you know, at the end of the day, you know, the refs, they made the call that they saw fit, and at the end of the day, SIU just made more plays.
Initially, I thought it was pass interference. The replay showed a little bit better coverage on the part of the Salukis, so I would say that was probably the right call. You got the umpire and the back judge both with pretty good views of that, and they didn't call it. Got to trust that opinion. I mean, there were a couple other positions where they probably could have called pass interference. You had Schneider open in the end zone, and he's doing the old jersey tug deal. So, I mean, yeah. But there's going to be some of that. There's some of that both ways.
And don't forget the Sumner pass that should have been picked off.
Right.
From what I saw, I think
it looked like he caught that. Yeah. So we shouldn't even have gotten to that point at the end of the game. What do you sort of think about the way that this game sort of unfolded? You know, the Jacks, their offense was okay. They had some success running the football, but at the end of the day, SDSU does come short. This is 3 straight losses.
I think at the end of the day, for SDSU, it just comes down to mistakes. I think they just made too many mistakes today, and the block field goal, and at the end of the day, they lose by 3.
The block field goal was pretty huge. You know, I was kind of curious to see how the kicking would be. You can't see it really, but the field is in awful shape with mud all over. And Sirvaka made a kick where he slipped earlier in the game, and then he had one blocked, kind of a low trajectory kick. And I didn't see him slip on that one, but nothing saying that wasn't part of it or whatever. And you know, and they had 2 turnovers. You had the one center kind of inexplicably fumbling, and that looked like it was going to be the game. There were about 6 minutes left. You had the one prior to that where it was 4th down. They converted, and Cam Jones fumbles the football. And that's a huge play because SDSU's probably going to get 3 points on that drive because they were definitely in field goal range where Jones fumbled the football. So, you know, this is like you mentioned, mistakes. These little things do end up adding up and costing the Jackrabbits in really huge game. To me, big picture, 3-3 now. When 3 weeks ago when they were 3-0, I can't say I thought they would lose this game. They did. Very close margin. Now they go to Western Illinois next week. I mean, Stigmeyer said their conference championship hopes are done, and with 2 losses they are. Now you got to almost run the table. You may be able to get away with 1 loss the rest of the way, and Northern Iowa is still coming in. As we tape this, they're playing North Dakota State very closely, and those are probably the 2 best teams right now. So there's an expanded playoff field, but I think it's going to be tight now as things come down the stretch. Those chances of SDSU having like a bye and hosting are gone. I mean, the Jacks, if they make the playoffs, are probably going to be playing on Thanksgiving weekend. Yeah. Yeah. What about? I mean, this was an interesting Hobo Day. The Jacks get $12.5 million for the new stadium. Puts them about 20% of the way there. Crappy field, to be quite honest. You had a smaller than usual Hobo Day crowd, bad weather, and a bad football game for the Jackrabbits when it all comes down to it. So I'll be curious to see how the Jacks rebound next week. They're in Macomb, Illinois. They play Western Illinois and Lebanon. So we're off for quite a bit as far as the videos until the end of October because there's 2 games and a bye in there. So Northern Iowa will be the next opponent here at Coffin Alumni Stadium. We'll see you then.